What's up, guys? This is El Aficionado. I'm back again. This is the USA versus the England post-game show. I'm going to give you thoughts on the game, player ratings, and just some general tidbits that I found interesting. Hope you enjoy.
So what? Take England behind Giroud. Competition in the world. No team has won it more than Arsenal.
So yesterday, the United States men's national team played the English national team at Wembley, the home of the English national team in London. It wasn't the U.S. men's national team's best showing ever, but it wasn't their worst either, to be fair. They did have attacking chances, but most of those chances went begging in a 3-0 loss. Pretty comprehensive victory for the English national team. It's nothing to hang your head about, losing to a very, very, very talented team. But it just goes to show how far away we are, because we always talk about, the United States men's national team is young. England is almost as young as we were on average, and they're already here, and we're here. So you got to see how far we've got to go. It's not going to happen all in a day. Rome wasn't built in a day, but we will prevail in the long run. I have full faith. So jumping into these player ratings, I'm going to come from back to front. A couple of decent performers, a lot of underperforming going on. Starting with Brad Guzan in goal, I'm going to go with a solid 5. He made a couple of really clutch saves throughout the game. Wasn't really at fault for any of the goals, especially not the second one. Trent Alexander-Arnold blasted that into the corner. But a 5, really poor distribution, poor decision-making in probably the first 30 minutes of the game. Seemed to settle down, and he did a little bit better after that. We weren't playing through his feet as much in the second half, though. So I feel like a 5 for Brad Guzan is very fair. I had it right back, DeAndre Yedlin. He's going to get a 5 from me. He had moments where he would burst into attack and look dangerous, but his crosses, once again, were very, very lacking in quality. He blasted way over everyone's heads on a very regular basis. So DeAndre Yedlin, it's all there. He's got to put the pieces together. But still, even as many years as DeAndre Yedlin's been around, he's only like 20, 21 years old. So he's got time. He's going to develop into a wonderful, wonderful player. Moving into our center back pairing of Matt Miazga and John Brooks, both of them are going to get very, very low marks from me. Neither one of them had a really great game. Miazga, I'm going to give a 4, and Brooks, I'm going to give a 3. The number one thing I saw that happened poorly from both of them was lack of communication. They weren't communicating with McKennie and Trapp in front of them and telling them where to go and giving them direction, and England was really exposing that weakness. They were running right through the middle of the park the whole entire first half. So that was very disappointing. Miazga was really his lack of experience on a high level showed during the Jesse Lingard goal. He was obviously not used to playing against players that could take the touch, pick their head up, and put it in the top corner from that kind of angle. And he was slow getting out, and Jesse Lingard made him pay. That's a top player, and you got to, they do have quality like that, and he's got to understand that and recognize that fact sooner. John Brooks, he's getting a 3. He is the U.S. men's national team's best defender, and I love him, but he really played poorly last night. Callum Wilson owned John Brooks last night. Callum Wilson he could have scored a hat trick. Particularly on the goal he did score, he just utterly fooled John Brooks, and it was not Brooks' best game. Playing out of the back, Brooks looked okay. Miazga never really got that opportunity. And they were both reasonably calm under pressure, but the defensive aspect of their game should be their number one, and it was their weakest point last night. At left back, we have Jorge Villafaña. Villafaña was the oldest player on the field for the U.S. men's national team. You really expect him to lead, show you something. He did really neither of those things. Trent Alexander-Arnold owed both him and Tim Weah all night over there on that wing. I'm going to give Villafaña a 5, and I feel like that's being pretty generous. Weston McKennie and Will Trapp staying in the CDMs. McKennie, I'm going to give a 6. Not based on his first half performance, but based on his second half performance. The second half, he got pressed higher up and played a more attacking role. He really flourished into that role. I feel like he was linking well with Pulisic and with Adams in particular when he came on. But when he was sitting deep, he was really running around like a chicken with his head cut off, unable to get in the game, unable to get on the ball. He did give it away a couple times. It was rather sloppy. But I feel like a 6 for Weston McKennie is pretty fair. Will Trapp, I'm going to give him a 5. It was a solid performance from Will Trapp. One of the best attacks the U.S. men's national team had was sprung off a good, hard Will Trapp tackle. That's the kind of thing you want to see out of him is good physical play. And so I was very impressed with that. But really an uninspiring game, once again, from Will Trapp. It seems like a similar pattern developing with his style of play. Out on the right wing, we had Christian Pulisic. I'm going to give him a 7 and my man of the match. He would have got an 8 or a 9 if he'd finished that chance, glorious chance in the first half. But he's still easily the U.S. men's national team's best player far and away. No question about that. The chance that I just spoke about, he literally created it for himself. Nutmegged Lewis Dunk, went and got the ball around a couple of English defenders and tried to beat Pickford one-on-one. I think he took a touch too many there. I think he should have hit it one touch sooner. But with all the talk about Jadon Sancho coming in, Pulisic was not outshined by the other Dortmund star. I think he performed magnificently, even tracking back when we needed him on defense. If he had just finished that chance, he would have gotten a much better rating from me. Julian Green at the CAM, I'm going to give him a 5. Julian Green was a non-factor in this game. I really don't even have anything positive or negative to say about him. That's why I gave him a 5. Tim Weah on the left wing, I'm going to give Weah a 4. Weah was ineffective offensively. He did take a couple players on at one point, but I can only remember him doing it once. Forgive me if I'm incorrect about that. But the reason I'm dropping him to a 4 is because on the Trent Alexander-Arnold goal, he fell asleep on the back post. He literally let Trent Alexander-Arnold walk by him unmarked and walk in and hit an absolute cracker of a shot. So that one's on Tim Weah, not on Villafania. And all night he was failing to force Trent Alexander-Arnold back and keep him in a defensive role. He was letting him basically free roam. Tim Weah did not perform very well to me. Bobby Wood up top is going to get my lowest rating of the game. I'm going to give Bobby Wood a 2. I really don't like Bobby Wood. I think he does nothing that the team cannot replace. The few times we actually got on the ball in the first half and started to look forward, Bobby Wood was offsides. I swear, I think he had 4 offsides in the first half. How many opportunities are we going to get against a team like this? Like, these are not chances you can be wasting. There's a couple fast break opportunities where I saw Bobby Wood either be too slow with the ball, have it taken off of him from behind, or be too selfish and blast him over the bar. He missed an open header that should have been a goal when it was still 2-0. Bobby Wood, very, very poor performance. I think he needs to be replaced by Josh Sargent. Josh Sargent was injured yesterday. That's why he did not play. I did not realize that going in, but he was, and that's why Bobby Wood played, and I feel like Bobby Wood is not the option of the future for the U.S. men's national team. The substitutes, all the substitutes performed pretty well. They came on, looked lively. We looked dangerous when the substitutes came on. So I'm going to give Acosta, Adams, Saif, and Lletget all 6s, particularly Adams. Adams played very well. I thought he looked calm and composed. Wish he'd gotten a little bit more time, but he was resting for the MLS playoffs. Dave Sarakin, I'm going to give Dave a 7. I'm really impressed with Dave. As an interim head coach, that's got to be a difficult job to get your players to buy in game after game, and he's done a fairly good job. Taylor Twellman said it best, how even though the U.S. men's national team has played this killer schedule, they haven't gotten killed yet. And even last night, that had the possibility to be like 5 or 6-0. But I feel like the U.S. men's national team held it together. They're motivated to play. Sarakin's got them set up in the best formation. I don't think he had the best personnel on the field, but a little bit of that's not his fault through injuries and other such things. But he does make adjustments that make the team better in the second half. Switching Pulisic away was a good move. Preston McKinney higher was a good move. He really got the outside backs into the game more by doing those, and it really changed the flow a little bit. It gave the United States a little bit more control of the ball, which was vital. So I think Dave has performed very, very admirably as the interim head coach. The fans, I'm going to give an 8. We colonized a little part of England there, even if it was for a 3-0 defeat. So I gotta really hand it to a lot of the United States fans. They travel well, particularly to games like this. And we even had a pitch invader, so there you go. That is that. So this has been the U.S. men's national team versus England post-game report with the player ratings. If you felt differently than I did, leave it in the comments below. If you have any thoughts or feelings, leave it in the comments below. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm going to leave you with the funniest thing I saw this week. Enjoy.